I'm just going to plug in my laptop. I see it. I'm going to plug this into that. Hey, who's in here? My cousin. Hey, Kareem. William Stokes, what's going on? Reg from West Philly, what's good? We about to get it popping up in here at WTMC Live 215 Studios. I'm here with my guest.
What's happening?
Oh, we could just do it. We could just do it. We about to get it popping up in here. He's so nervous. You're gonna be fine. Like you think it's gonna be a hard hitting Barbara Walters / Wendy Williams? I know
you're gonna ask me them Charlamagne questions.
I really am not with the mess.
I got my lady on speed dial.
Sam is watching, so I'm not gonna trip you up though. Who we got on Instagram? Good. We got DJ Anigans. What's up? We got Jam and Sam laying down some old school tracks for us. We're just getting all this rigged up. If you haven't done so already, if you ever want to catch us, So Extra 215 Radio is always available on WTMC Live 215.com. You can also download the app so you could be on the bus. You could be actively cheating on your girlfriend and still stream this show directly to your device. So just keep that in mind. I got my favorite pen. I don't know if y'all can see this.
It's nice.
Get ready. So Extra 215.
That's Mother Maxine right there. We got Sam watching. Hey, boo. What's up? We got a little audience. We got Brian Isley, awesome comedian. Make sure y'all listen to Logo. Poppin'. So we're going to get started in just a moment. We got...
I like this. Hey.
It's too many cameras in here. I'm looking around like, oh my God. But they all in sync. Okay. Hey, I don't freestyle unless I'm getting paid for it. Nah. Unless I'm getting paid. It's just like 8 Mile. You know what I mean? Like, it's just health is wealth.
Hey,
I'm moving so much stuff. Hey, Sam.
Sham.
What's going on? We got a whole bunch of people watching from all over.
Lee, what's up, bro? Delaware, the building. Hold me down.
You know what I mean?
Okay. You already know, man.
So we got the vibes. Drinking on the air. Hey. Feel like I should be in a blaxploitation movie right now.
A blaxploitation.
That was my dream. That's my dream. Like I always wanted to be a Pam Grier type, and then the whole genre just was over with. So there goes that.
It's alright. It ain't over yet.
Love the pen. I know this is last year's birthday present. By the way, my birthday is on Sunday, so if y'all want to send anything my way, feel free to do so. I know Facebook encourages us to give our birthday gifts to charity, but like I'm poor. What the fuck? Like, yo, it pisses me off so much. Every year, this time of year, Facebook asks if I want to ask for donations for a charity for my birthday. Can I have my birthday? Like, don't nobody care about my birthday except my mama. Can I get that? I gotta get, you know what? I give back in other ways. Y'all can't have my birthday. Trying to reconnect. Oh no. Are we back? Did we do it?
You ready?
All right. Yep.
Yo, I'm in the stew, bro.
Niggas love saying that. I'm in the stew.
Text me right back. Let me call you right back. Alright. Or just text me.
Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Hey! Welcome to So Extra 215 here at WTMC Live 215. It is Monday, October 15th, and we are back in the studio with yet another special guest. Everybody, please give it up for Mr. Rob Long. Rob Long of Live 24 Hours or Live 24 HRS. He's going to talk about that in just a moment. You know the show, or maybe you don't. If it's your first time listening, welcome. If it's your first time watching, welcome. This is a 1 hour show. We do a segment called News and Nonsense. So we go over some headlines. We talk about our question of the day, which I'll be laying on you in just a second. And then we talk about what's going on in the Philly area, events. They're usually free because, as y'all know, I'm pretty poor. So I try to hook you up with some really cool stuff to do in the city as far as culture, art, do something with yourself. Get more than just a cheesesteak. Get out there and enjoy yourself. So that's what the whole show is. But we're, of course, going to start with our guest, Rob.
Hey.
What's up?
How's it going? Thank
Pretty
you for
good.
having me on the show.
Of course.
So like you said, I'm Robbie Long. I'm the president of Live 24 Hours. And Live 24 Hours is a platform where I promote social entrepreneurship, and I make my platform open to artists, creatives, innovators, entrepreneurs to just come and be themselves and express themselves. And my main goal is to drive momentum to their projects as long as mine, and to just stir up the creative scene. So I'm really excited that you have me here and to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course. So we've collaborated on a few things. So some of you, we probably have some mutual followers and mutual friends. We work together mainly on event production. So you know me, I'm the hostess.
Yeah.
But you actually were one of the first people to give me a shot at producing an event. I didn't really know what that entailed. We did a little thing called the Love Connection.
Yeah.
Which is going to be coming back very soon, so we're excited to announce
Awesome.
that. So talk about how the Live 24 Hours brand gets slapped on so many things. Not that it's you know what I mean, though. Like, some people stay in one vein, but you seem to always just find the next wave.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Well, I mean, diversity is important. Diversifying my portfolio is important. Me personally, I'm first a writer. I love to write. And I used to bartend a while, so when I took my skills and my crafts, events only make sense. So I started bartending. How I got slapped on all these events, I don't even know. I just try to put myself out there, put myself on the line. I love art. I love comedy. That's how I got affiliated with you. And it just grows. It's just expansion,
Cool.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Love Connection at all?
I don't know if they ready for Love Connection.
Do we want to talk about Love Connection?
I could do this. A lot of people don't know what Love Connection is,
right.
So I could just give you a little brief. Love Connection is it's a collaborative event between me and Nicole, and it is an art-based singles event. So what we do is we invite all of the local singles from the area to just come out, mingle, be themselves. We provide an open bar. And one of the things that I'm big on in the city of Philadelphia is giving concentration to up-and-coming artists. A lot of times it's hard for an emerging artist to even get a platform they deserve. So instead of doing an event with 20, 30 artists or a huge artist, I like to find one, maybe two emerging artists that I think are really fly, real stellar individuals, and I just give them a solo show. So it goes a solo art show. You do your thing with the comedy. I do my thing at the bar with the organizer, making sure the vibe is there and everything is there, and we rock out like that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we definitely have in common is being able to pinpoint popping ass people. So just shout outs. No, for real, Sam is giving us the eye like, oh, word. But have I brought someone in the studio so far who was not dope as hell?
Absolutely.
Everybody I know is dope. That's just the blessings that I have.
Wi-Fi lit.
So shout outs. We've had visual artists, we've had music artists, just on the Love Connection alone. And it's just such a fun opportunity to be able to bring like-minded people together who are single in the dead of winter. We got people out of their house in February.
First one, man. I was so,
you know what I mean? And it was
excited,
dope.
So nervous at the same time, but yeah, they packed out.
It's been warm out, so we let y'all rock. We let y'all do y'all thing this summer. But cuffing season is upon us, so we coming back with the Love Connection. And it's gonna be so fun. So please stay aware and keep your eye out for that Live 24 Hours brand. You're gonna see it more and more. You're gonna see an event that's dope and be like, oh, that's the homie, or oh, I'm pointing to myself. That's the homie.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you were really nervous about the interview portion of the show, but it's really not that deep. I don't dig. Maybe I should dig a little deeper. I'm gonna start doing FBI.
Well, it ain't nervous. I just don't know what you got. What you got in that notebook?
I don't have anything in my notebook.
You gonna have your hair like, what was that? You posted back in, but nah, it's good.
I don't. I barely have enough time to like look at my own social media. Yeah. So you're fine there.
Okay. Cool.
So you're a really good networker.
Yeah.
You're better than most people that I know. You're better than I know brokers and I know lawyers and I know like people whose livelihoods, not that yours isn't, but like their bread and butter is networking. Like, is that just a natural hustle or was that natural hustle souped up with a little something else that you learned along the way?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. Like for me, I definitely am a strong believer that your network is your net worth. And not even on a sense of dollars. Like, it's just good to have people to call on for things that you need. I appreciate being a resource for people to call on. So I speak to everybody, you know what I mean? A lot of times I'll have an event, I'll post it one time, but I'm in the streets, I'm in different arenas, I'm talking to people and just spreading the word. You know, if we can just do that more. I love networking. I love telling people about themselves, telling people how great they are and things like that. So
I'm going to stop you there. Only because I think some people are fine with shaking hands, introducing themselves, making that initial connection, but it's then like after that, how do you keep someone engaged when you don't necessarily have a project right then and there ready for them? Like, how do you find yourself staying engaged with people that you might not need for some time, or you just not really sure how they fit in your network, but you know they're valuable people and you want to keep them engaged? How do you personally do that? I might be giving away some secrets.
Nah. I mean, what it is, you know, a good friend of mine helped me stir the pot with this. It's just nurturing your network. You know what I mean? So I like to support events that other people are having. I like to give inspiration to people for different things, and I think that it's just really about what you love. You know, at 31 years old, I can't do things that I don't like.
Say it one more time.
At 31 years old, I don't have time to do things I don't like. Like, I can't work a job I don't like. I can't be in a relationship if I don't love it, and I can't do things. So I think for me,
we preaching today.
I am the.
No, it's a real thing.
But real talk, it's like I try to just fill my life up with things that I love, and right now that is art, old school cars, music. I love libations and cocktails, and I love events.
He can whip up a mean cocktail. We do have a question. Sam J. Williams, is that one of your viewers on WTMC? They don't know where it came from on mine. Jay Williams, I think that's my homie from Harrisburg, asked, have you, Rob, ever worked with nonprofits doing events? I have an answer for that, but they're asking you specifically.
Yes, I have worked with nonprofits doing events. 2 years ago, I worked with an internship. It was called Frontline Dads, and that was a reentry program working with guys who have had issues with reentry, being in the penal system and things like that. So we did events, street cleanups. We did events that would give guys maybe interview prep, resume prep, and things like that. And I also worked with a really good friend of mine, Tiffany Easley. She has a nonprofit bigger than me. She's an optician, and we last year. Shout out
to Tiff.
Yeah, Tiffany.
Tiffany Easley. She owns, what is it, Envy My Eyewear out on 52nd Street. She's a boss.
She's a boss. I only roll with bosses, so. And
she helped sponsor one of my very first shows. She bought literally bought a handful of tickets, showed up with her and her homegirl and was like, I just bought the rest for GP. Thank you, girl. And she offered a discount at her store.
That's what it's about, you know what I mean? Just bringing in like-minded individuals, bringing in people who are going somewhere, you know, helping the people who may not be, and just keeping everything relevant, keeping everything going. So, yes, I have done work with nonprofits, and I'm looking to do more. So please reach out to me. Please hit me up. Let me know what you got going on. If we meet eyes on things, then I'm ready to work.
Yeah, I also, not that anybody asked or whatever, I'm just the host of this show, but I also have had a great opportunity in hosting especially and doing stage time for benefit shows, which is it's one of my favorite things to do. November 4th, I'll actually be hosting a Get Up the Vote event with an organization called Faith Interworks. So it is a multi-denominational interfaith organization that's working to really educate lower income Black and brown people about their rights to vote, and I'm really excited. If you listen to the show, you know I'm fake woke. So fake woke, you see the head wrap, right? Okay. You see the head wrap, it means nothing. It means nothing.
Not fake woke.
What I mean is that I think I was raised with a social conscience, understanding that it's important for me to give back. But when you're like broke and have limited resources, that can weigh on you.
Facts.
It can make you feel like I really want to do something, but like I'm trying to live check to check. I don't have things to invest. But if you have time and you have talent, there are people who are more than happy to use you. And quite as it's kept, nonprofits have budgets that they have to get rid of by the end of the year. That's just industry, and they will pay you a real check for your talent. So like I'm encouraging anybody who wants to like support a movement or support a social, especially social justice. We have so many things going on right now. If you're an artist, if you're a comedian, if you are an event producer, like you can give more than just money. So that's my little soapbox.
And if I could add on to that, it's definitely like you said, just to remind people, like when you don't have a ton of experience or when you are emerging, working with nonprofits is a great way to start out because they need as many hands on deck for their causes. And you do something with the right nonprofit, you start talking, they can help you boost your platform. So it's definitely a beautiful thing.
So thank you, Jay Williams, for your awesome question. I hope that was helpful. I just want to give a real quick shout out to those who are watching on all the different platforms. My cousin Tomlin, hey, as well as a couple other people. Thanks for joining in. Rob, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else you wanted to make sure people knew about you. If you had an event that you wanted to plug before we head to our next segment.
So, yes, I do have an event. I have a Halloween event coming up. It's called Halloween Moon. It's at Vox Populi Art Gallery. Friday, October 26th at 8 p.m. It's going to be lit. It's the only Afro-futuristic Halloween event happening. It's an idea I had. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to be in there.
It's going to be Wakanda.
Wakanda forever. Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to get my cowrie shells together.
Open bar, of course. It's a masquerade event. I will be providing masks if people don't bring a costume, but we encourage people to be festive and things like that. I have some good friends doing some tribal face painting. I got some friends just doing a lot of different things. Some body painting. Do you mind me
asking who's going to be doing painting?
Saeed.
Of course.
And Yazzie Mojo.
Shout out. Of course. I already knew who it was.
You know what's up. Yeah.
Those are my boos. Hey, Saeed and Yaz. What's up?
Consistent.
Cool. All right, so listen, we are going to take a very brief break. We're going to listen to some tunes, and we'll be back in just a second for our next segment, which is News and Nonsense. You know that's my fave. I'll see y'all soon.
Let's get it.
The mics aren't live, but people are watching. I'm wondering if this is... Who is this? Oh, yeah. This is my homie. I grew up next door to him. Jay Williams. Justin. That's how you really know people when you start calling.
Philadelphia music legend Dexter Wanzel.
He's watching?
I've been watching every week since you started. I just been watching. I never put Adventure Quick the other night. So you must got something else.
Could it be me? I'm sorry. Could it be? Oh, snap. Is an American keyboardist raised in Philadelphia.
His son is Pop Wanzel. Did a lot of this stuff with Beyonce.
Dope. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. You about to go? Oh, you're fine, but you're not done.
Oh, I thought I was out of it.
And we are back. Thanks so much for hanging through our little music break there. We are back listening to...
Oh, yeah, shout out to Wide Rider. That was my boy Wide Rider's newest project. 808. He's a beast. Art Inspires Art Philly, y'all. Check him out.
And if we're doing shout outs before I could even do an intro to the next segment, since we just talking over the host and everything, also want to give a super big shout out to Dexter Wanzel, who I'm informed has been watching since the beginning, which is we had our 2-month mark almost. So I really appreciate all the support. I'm glad if you're getting something out the show, if you like the music, if you like the content, if you like my voice, if you like my funny stories, whatever it is. Keep tuning in. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming back to So Extra 215 Radio. We are here at WTMC Live 215. And again, I have my guest, Rob Long, president of Live 24 Hours in the studio. He thought he was done because he did his interview. He plugged up his phone. He sat off to the side and got a towel and dabbed off.
I had to get right.
It was really
not done. We're not done.
We are not done because we are back for my next segment, which I absolutely love. News and Nonsense. If you don't know News and Nonsense, it's the segment of the show. I mentioned earlier that I am, quote unquote, fake woke. Which means that I'm having a fake woke. Oh, I like that. That's a parody. That's a parody. I like fake woke. I'm working on a parody album right now where I'm doing some funny, dumb songs. So I might add that. Fake woke. And then I had another one. Staying on topic, though, which is hard to do today. News and Nonsense. So it's a really simple concept. I pulled a few headlines from my phone. Just to talk about, and some of it is news, some of it is nonsense.
Okay.
Some of it is a mixture of both. So we go through the headlines, we dig into the story, and we realize, or we try to figure out, is this newsworthy? Why is it in my phone to begin with? Why is it on my timeline? So we have a little bit of a debate, and you see, I don't know if you can see all the different stories that I pulled. Is there one in particular that's jumping out to you right now? Which one?
I like the one where
Kingston.
Wow.
Yeah, we got some.
Missouri woman fired for blocking black man from entering apartment complex.
Nice. So we have yet another story where a black person is minding their black ass business, trying to enter their own home where they pay rent every month. And if you haven't seen the video, I don't know if Sam wants to pull the audio from it. It's really just a ridiculous video. So here's what happens. Did you read the story? Did you see about it? Okay. So this happened in Missouri. Same place where Mike Brown was shot and killed. Just putting that out there. R.I.P. And I could just read a blurb because it sums it up better than the long story I'm about to tell, and then we can dig into it. A white Missouri woman who tried to prevent a black man from entering his apartment complex was fired by her employer on Sunday after video of the incident went viral. So this happens. It keeps happening. And I'm wondering when white people are going to figure out that, like, sweetie, we will figure out who you are. We will figure out exactly who pays your rent, and we will stop that from happening. Like, we will do it. Like, it's just, there's absolutely no reason. I watched the video. It's longer than I would like.
Yeah.
And it actually starts at the very front door. Right? So he's trying to enter the building. It's a fancy little building with a key fob. So it's not even, it's the front door. It's not, you know what I mean? But so he's trying to enter and she's physically blocking his path. I don't know if you can see this picture. She's with a dog as well. So she's walking her dog. She's leaving from her building to go out and walk her dog, sees, as we often do, if you live in a big city, you see somebody leaving your building, the door is shut, and you grab it real quick so you don't have to go through the trouble of finding your keys or whatever the case was. That's the way the story looks. And she physically blocked this man from entering his own building, wanted to see his key fob, wanted to make sure that it matched the same one that she had. He was very patient, and given that it's Missouri and given just the world that we live in, that's understandable. And I commend all black people, especially black men, who keep their cool and show exactly who they are in those heated moments, which is a calm, collected person who is just trying to live their effing life. Because I'm trying not to curse on the show. All right. So she blocks his path, and after about 101, excuse me, please, excuse me, move out the way. I don't have to show you anything. I don't have to prove that I live here. He pushes past her. It does not stop there. She follows this man, gets in the elevator with him, follows him to his door to make sure that his key works. She didn't believe that still didn't believe that he lived there. She's like, I want to know what friend. I want to know what friend. No, this is how shady she was. I want to see what friends you have. I want to see what friends you have in this building and who let you in here. And as he puts the key into his door, she's still there. Then the story changes. Oh, I just wanted to introduce myself. I want to know all of my neighbors. That's why I followed you. I followed you because I want to introduce myself. Can I please introduce myself? This is a real video. I would encourage you to watch it. Mm-hmm. And so he eventually the police came because she called the police. Now, the biggest thing for me was that when she was blocking him from entering the building to begin with, the words that came out her mouth is, I'm uncomfortable.
Well, that's all you got to be.
But, I mean, if we break this down a little bit, whenever you're think about being physically uncomfortable, right? You'll do whatever you need to do to get out that situation, right? If somebody has your arm behind your back, I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to try to get out of that situation. Yeah. If I'm in a shady area and I feel uncomfortable, unsafe, I'm going to go where there is light. Yeah. I'm not going to get into an enclosed space with a stranger because I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's not the right word. I feel like you don't belong here. That's what she really meant when she said uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm talking a lot, and we have a guest in the studio.
Nah, you cool. Well, what I want to know is the ad says Missouri woman fired. She didn't work for that apartment complex?
I think she did. And if we read a little bit more, the Tribeca STL family, and I think that's maybe the property management or the ones who owns the building, is a minority-owned company that consists of employees and residents from many racial backgrounds. We are proud of this fact and do not and never will stand for racism or racial profiling at our company. After review of the matter, the employee has been terminated and is no longer with our company. I think people are just boilerplate in this at this point. Like, can we just get a lawyer to draft up a statement right now for the next white person who messes up at our company? Mm-hmm. I think, what's it called? What's that? LegalZoom? I think that might be a new service where it's just like it's racial.
Needed. Nah, I mean, if she worked for the apartment complex and what did the dude look like? I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt to both sides.
This is Darian right here. Everything. This is his Facebook profile.
What? They got his Facebook?
Yeah, this is Darian. Darian looks like a regular dude.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Wild. Like, he looks like a regular, look at him. That's clean wild. Cut. Children. Nice looking man. He got his glasses on. Yeah. But the whole thing is it does not matter.
It's sad.
It does not matter what you look like. And if you're truly uncomfortable, what you do is you go in your apartment and if you really, really want to go there, call the police. Mm-hmm. If you really feel unsafe, if you really feel uncomfortable, you will let him go in, you will come out the building, and you can go right up around the corner and say, hey, somebody just entered my building. They don't look right. Yeah. Or whatever. In the dispatch will probably say, why don't you think they belong there? Because they're black? Okay. Like, no. We're not coming out.
I would have done the same thing if it were a person, a Caucasian or another background.
We don't know that.
But we do know that he was a black man.
But we do know that he was a black man. And I would encourage you to watch the video if you have questions about it, because her demeanor, everything about it spoke to me of white people who think that vigilante justice is well within their rights and that they have the authority. That was the other thing. She kept saying, my building, my building, my building. And I don't know if that's because she's a property manager or because she's paying a lease there. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure. The details aren't 100% clear, but I know that you don't follow someone that makes you feel unsafe or uncomfortable. You don't get into an elevator with them. You don't follow them down a hallway to their front door. And then we just had this incident with both the young man who was shot in his own apartment because the white police officer came into his home and shot him dead. So, I mean, it's very hard if you're a person of color or a black person to not feel like you have the potential of being stalked and killed, like with absolutely no repercussion.
Because your mere existence makes somebody else uncomfortable. And just think about the task it is every day. I mean, every day I gotta go out my way not to make somebody feel uncomfortable. You walking down the street, a lady walking your way, I gotta smile
show
and
the
be
teeth
extra cheery,
mention something having to do with white culture to let them know that you are, really, like there are certain words, I'm not too comfortable around dogs. White people don't like that. They don't like that I won't pet their dog.
Nah.
They don't like that I won't do that. So there are certain things that we are constantly monitoring other people's emotions. Mm-hmm. Not even our own. Monitoring other people's emotions and perceptions of us for our own personal safety. Yep. So I have to make sure that you feel safe so that I stay safe.
I think that our good people
and that's not fair at all.
It's not fair, and it's really, and that's a baseline. That's just getting from point A to point B. That's not even like navigating or doing the things that you need to do. This man is coming home from wherever he's coming home from. It's nighttime. He probably had a long day. Me, if I'm at my front door and somebody is keeping me from Netflix, keeping me from taking my bra off and getting comfortable on the couch, I'm gonna be pissed. Like I'm gonna be very upset. So shout out to this young man who kept it very cool, calm, and collected. Mr. Tolles, Darion Tolles.
Missouri watchers, man. Write the Department of Labor. Make sure she don't get no unemployment either.
Nowhere. Ooh.
You know what I mean? You get fired from your job, you get unemployment. We're going to have to do something about that, too.
And then we hear, George Zimmerman. There's been a lot of people
He's signing Skittle packets out there.
But they have all cried that, this is ruining my life, that the backlash from my terrible actions is negatively impacting me. Yeah!
Welcome to the party.
That's how that works. You do something terrible and there are repercussions. And when there aren't any repercussions legally, it makes me personally feel terrified because it just gives people a license to continue doing that behavior. Yeah. When the judicial system does not punish people for things like this, when police keep coming out on these types of calls, when people keep dismissing, juries keep dismissing murderers for stalking and killing people, it can make you feel very unsafe, and it's hard to feel like you're safe and that you're not making things up, because sometimes I'm like, I'm bugging. Why? It's not all about race all the time. But that could be the one time that like someone decides like, no, this is it, like I'm putting my foot down, you can't come in this building, whatever it is. So is that news or is that nonsense, or is it nonsense?
I think that news is nonsense. You know what I mean? It's nonsense. It's nonsense that as a man living in this country, like you said, we have to go out our way to make other races feel uncomfortable. It's nonsense that people disrespect our existence and our rights so much. They're like, man, I'm going to follow you to your door, because guess what she wasn't worried about? Nothing happening to her.
And that's the other,
She wasn't worried about nothing happening to her. She wasn't about stalking, harassment, none of that. And I'm sure when the cops came, no charges was filed. Now, let the shoe been on the other foot and the black man would have gotten the elevator with her, followed her to her apartment. Man, he would have been charged up.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
All right, so we covered that one. I think we got nice and fired up. There's some other things that came across my timeline. I don't watch Saturday Night Live all the time. Right. Do you watch Saturday Night Live?
I watch it when I can. I like Donald Glover's segment on Saturday Night Live, but I haven't seen it recently.
Cool. I watch it. I happened to catch it this past Saturday. I saw the rerun on Hulu the next day or whatever on Sunday. I was getting caught up. And
can I get that Hulu password though before we leave?
It's my mama's. I can't even.
I met your mom. I can't get the login. Mom, can I get the login?
My mom is a Virgo. She don't play that.
When she at work.
Listen, I logged in on my on her Hulu from a new phone, and she hit me at 11:30. Like, is this you? I was like, yeah, that's me. She was like, okay, because I was about to.
I gave somebody my Netflix password one time.
You might as well just post it on
the
bus.
To make a profile. What you think about like that? You could just.
You might as well put up a piece of paper with them little strips like they do on college campuses with your Netflix password on it. Okay, so Saturday Night Live. If you don't know Pete Davidson, he is a member of the cast. I don't know if he's considered a feature comedian because there's levels to this. So once you get on SNL, you start off as like a featured, and then you become like a main cast member, and then of course the desk is like the big job, right? Yeah. Michael Shea and Colin Jost, I don't know his name. But Pete Davidson has been on SNL for a couple of years. I think he's funny. He has a lot to say about mental health. I think he suffers from bipolar and depression, and he's very vocal about it, which I quite enjoy. He's also known for being Ariana Grande's boo. That's his real claim to fame. And shout out to any dude out there who, is out here with a boss bitch and you just, you know what I mean? Like you're letting her be great.
Right.
And you just holding down yourself. Right. Everybody wants to treat Pete Davidson like he is a broke boy, but he's on SNL. Like he gets checks. He makes money, but Ariana Grande makes substantially more money. Grande checks. So recently, and the thing about this, which was crazy, is that he talked about their engagement on Saturday, right? On Saturday Night Live. He was on the show. Weekend Update. He had a segment where he was talking about being engaged to Ariana Grande. And Ariana Grande also dated Mac Miller for a really long time, who I would say we lost, but I mean, R.I.P. to Mac Miller to substance abuse. So she kind of like, even though she wasn't with Mac Miller, I know if one of my exes overdosed and died, a few of them, I would feel very bad. So it might have been a timing thing, but their engagement broke off.
After Mac Miller passed.
After he made the announcement on Saturday Night Live. Within an hour of that, and it's live. Like, it's happening right then and there.
He was wrong for that, though.
Was he? She was, now, she was at the SNL studio. This is where I say this is messed up. And I don't know if this is news or this is nonsense. But could she have not told him before he went on national television and talked to millions and millions of people about this engagement that it was not happening? You gonna wait an hour after we do the segment?
I don't know. I think that private life should be kept private. So don't use your relationship for no material, and don't be name dropping. I don't care who you date.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
now
Don't be name dropping.
That's virtually. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. But as far as comedians go, I can't think of too many comedians who are married to or partner with bigger names than themselves. Can you?
Not off the top of my head.
Not off the top of our head, especially male comedians, right? Yeah. So I don't think it's something that's ever really had to been dealt with. There's tons of comedians. You can't name Eddie Murphy's wife. I don't know her name. Yeah. That was one of them. You know what I mean? But that's only because she's what? Famous. But I mean... there's plenty of comedians who use their home life and their marriage and their relationships. Kevin Hart did it and continues to do it. There's so many. So we're not going to say that you can't use your life as material. If you're a comedian, all you have is like your life and social observation.
Yeah, but how long
as material?
How long were they engaged for?
Not very long because they're young as shit. Pete Davidson is 24. Oh, no, Ariana Grande is 24. I don't know how old Pete Davidson is. I think he's in his late 20s. He might be 30. So they're very young people.
Well, the real question is, what she had broke it off is if Mac Miller was still living.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And it sounds like he's very understanding. Like, he said it was just like, it's way too much, way too soon. And it's not shocking to anyone that the relationship is over. But I guess that's going to lead to our question of the day, which is, do you think it's important to keep relationships a secret if you are in the public eye? We'll ask that in just a moment. Is that the... Is that, and we can talk about what the public eye is and what that means, because some of y'all just SoundCloud rappers and don't nobody give a shit whether you got a girl license, SoundCloud. Okay, because you're right, they got premium now, so you gotta pay for that. Right. So that leads into my question of the day: is like, do you feel that certain relationships should be private? Have you ever been kept a secret, so to speak, or anything like that? I have thoughts on it. Rob is going to talk about it too, but that's a little bit later. We have a few more minutes. We can talk about a couple more subjects that came up. I'm trying to keep it light because the things that come across,
the news is so heavy
it's hard. This is why I try to mix it up.
No more. It's because we so.
This is why I go to the shade room also for relief, to get some actual nonsense.
The shade room is a source of news too. But
I balance it out.
I like the owner, so that's cool.
I balance it out. I try to balance out the ratchet and the newsworthy. We're going to talk about some other things as well.
Okay.
So everyone a few months ago was just loving or hating.
Loving and hating.
I really didn't feel no type of way one way or the other. We are, of course, talking about Meghan Markle. the first technically African descendant within the, what do you call it, Buckingham Palace. In the royal family, and they just made an announcement that Meghan is pregnant. So y'all been in there just making it happen. You finally got a baby on the way. Now, this article, I'm going to read the headline. Backlash on timing of royal baby news. A bit insensitive if you ask me. Now, I didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know Meghan was pregnant. I'm very excited about seeing this baby, though. That's just because I love babies. So I was trying to figure out, like, what is the big controversy? What's the big to-do? And apparently on the day that they announced that Meghan was pregnant was also a day, what is it called? International Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. So I'm sorry to anyone, I didn't even know that, but I'm sorry to anyone who like lost a child. And it looks like this is pregnancy and infant loss. So if you lost a baby, that's a really rough thing to go through. I just didn't know that was yesterday. Can we talk about how many damn days of observance and remembrance? Every day is a day. Yeah. Like every day is a day. And I would honestly have had to Google that to be like, what's going on today? And you can Google it every day, and there will be some fake ass holiday. Sorry, you know, for somebody out there. I could just say that October 21st, my birthday, and is like National Taco Day. It's right. And I can just start an org, and I can just put it on a calendar, and then it is what it is. I think it's personally nonsense.
It is. It's definitely nonsense.
It's nonsense.
I mean, let them live, man. People been waiting to say something else about her, waiting to
you right about this
relevant.
One.
Waiting to be relevant. If you could just talk about the queen, what is she, the princess? The queen now? Just Meghan.
I don't.
Duchess. Yeah, Duchess. They just been waiting to say something.
Yeah, so there was a statement made from somebody from the National Miscarriage Association. I imagine they didn't know. I think it's as simple as that. Obviously, I think it's nonsense, and somebody just needed something to click on. Who would know? Like, who would know? It's just a lot to keep up with. So I guess my takeaway from this is, if it's an important day to you, make sure you tell people. Like, just make sure. Just let
even the day before. Make an Eve.
Just make an Eve. Oh.
Like National Boyfriend Day Eve. Can I get 2 for 1?
No, that's Applebee's. Okay.
That does go a long way though.
Okay.
You know
I was going. Who? What? Chili got 3 what for $3? For 3 for what?
You get 3 for 10.
3 what?
3 for 30.
Appetizer, entree, and dessert.
And a drink.
And a
drink.
You get your drink. You get your appetizer and your entree.
Yo, if there's anybody watching from outside of Philadelphia, is it every Chili's that's popping, or is it just the ones in Philly? Like, man, listen, what is going on in Chili's? Popping. I didn't know that's where everyone who was over 31 was getting drinks. I had no idea.
Well,
no, that's me.
In Delaware, Chili's and Applebee's
right?
Is where it's at.
That's where everybody is. Damn, that's
Fridays,
where we should have Love Connection.
We should. Yo,
holla at us if we could just get some
cancel karaoke night,
chicken poppers or whatever on deck
down there. You know, that's where it's at. That's real. I forgot about that. We ain't spoiled. We in the city. It's different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Trying to look at all these other. All right, that was a sidebar.
It's all good.
Ooh. Okay. We can do maybe 1 or 2 more.
Talk about dirt. Oh, I was about to say dirt bike rail.
Oh, we're going to talk about that too, because I live on Broad Street, and that was crazy, and it's super Philly, so we'll talk about that in just a second. This is a report from TMZ. Love and Hip Hop star Erica Mena was arrested with boyfriend near ATL. And I don't even know if this is really relevant. It was on the Shade Room. I was really trying to remember who Erica Mena was. No, that's just how her nose is. So I was trying to remember
Erica Mena
and go back in time to remember
when Sin was there.
Right, with Sin. And then she tried to pull a Jocelyn Hernandez.
It ain't work.
It did not work. She started dating Bow Wow, aka Shad Moss. And they were supposed to have a baby. Is that her boyfriend? Oh, sis, I wish people could see this.
Shout out to the Dirty Young Boys winning.
He really, yo.
Hey,
if y'all can see him right now, if you can see him right, yo.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it was a rough day, though. They was just chilling. He didn't know the cameras was going to be on.
I know, but everything about this man, he looked like he had everything on him at the time. Cliff was arrested for criminal trespass because Erica told cops the property was in her name. Meanwhile, Erica was arrested for possession of bud.
Is that a crime now? Possession of bud. Is that what the cops said?
No. This is TMZ reporting. This is not real news. Obviously, cops say Erica admitted smoking weed and that she had some inside her home. Cops say they found baggies of weed and possible THC wax in her bedroom and her kitchen. I'm confused.
She let the cops in her house?
I'm so confused.
Rule number 1: don't let them in.
Do you have a warrant?
Speak through the door. Do you have a warrant?
So I'm all right. I obviously, honestly, did not read this at all before we started. I'm gonna read this. 11 hip hop star Erica Mena, Clifford Dixon. Sound like a court name. I'm just put it out there. Were hauled off to jail Friday in Johns Creek, Georgia. Someone called the cops from their home to report an argument getting out of hand. Cops arrived, they interviewed different people in the home and discovered Cliff and Erica had been fighting and that Cliff allegedly kicked through a bedroom door to a room in which Erica had locked herself.
He was just checking on her to make sure she wasn't harming herself.
Okay. Because that's why you kicked through a door. According to the police report obtained by TMZ, one of Erica and Cliff's roommates heard them fighting upstairs and apparently heard someone getting slapped. You heard somebody getting slapped from upstairs. How you hear somebody getting slapped from upstairs?
Damn.
Cops say they didn't see any visible marks on either person, but ended up busting Cliff when 2 different people reported he kicked through the door. He denied breaking it. So I guess what I'm not understanding is how we go from a domestic, what seems like it might be a domestic dispute, to criminality, right?
I think that's because in some states, especially in the South, as soon as the cops are called,
here we go.
One that was visible.
Right. So Cliff was arrested for criminal trespass because Erica told the cops the property was in her name. So because she said it's my house, he has to go. The dude was arrested. But then she was arrested for possession of marijuana. Now, it doesn't say. She admitted to smoking weed and that she had some inside her home. And where was this? In Atlanta? Recreational marijuana is not legal? I mean, it's not legal in Philly either, but there's a whole weight thing where it's not criminalized. Like, you won't get locked up. That's what they say.
But it says that it was bagged up. She had baggies. You're not supposed to have it bagged up.
All right. So keep your weed loose and just strewn about coffee tables and just keep them in vases. Don't put them in baggies.
They probably searched the room where the door was knocked down at.
You're right.
Smelled the weed, saw it on the counter.
So I just... it's absolutely nonsense. This is not something that you want to be put in TMZ for. Erica, yeah, I don't even, it doesn't seem like this is something they did to stay relevant. It seemed like something that just happened, and because Erica Mena's name still has a little bit of buzz on it, ended up on the TMZ reports. All I'm gonna say is it's not a good look, sis. The whole thing is terrible, and I don't know what exactly happened, but I hope you're all right. Her lip does look a little swollen, though.
Yeah, man.
It look a little swollen.
That ain't cool. I was joking earlier, and I was like, oh, he kicked down for this. Dudes out there rumbling their girls, man. If you don't walk away.
And ladies, if you don't walk away, and that's not a light thing at all, sometimes it is very hard to make that happen. And so I'm not making light of domestic abuse at all. It's just kind of sad. It makes me upset. And just the escalation of it, it just kind of shows me how the police are always looking for a reason to lock people up. You know, if you are really serving the community, maybe removing one person from the home just for safety purposes sounds like that's what the police should be doing. But now you're turning it into an investigation and searching and looking for drugs and all this type of stuff.
Double the court costs. You know what they're trying to do.
It's a racket. It's a racket. So the only thing I could encourage people to do is understand that, yes, the police are here. They're supposed to keep us safe. But we know that if we're part of a certain demographic, we might always get those services and end up harming ourselves and the people around us in the process. It's a hard spot to be in. I personally have had to call the police on a boyfriend Yeah, I did. And Philadelphia Police Department, you raggedy as hell. I'm gonna say this. I don't even know where he is or what he's doing right now. I had to put out a restraining order. That's a different. That's a different show. That's a different episode.
That's news.
That's the juicy stuff, right? The craziest thing about that whole incident was what the police officer told me when they arrived.
What is that?
So it was a young black cop, female, and a young white guy. And you could tell they were like really new. I don't know if you remember around 2007 when they were doing this mass hiring, and they was hiring literally anybody. They was putting ads out. We'll start you with 34,000. We'll train you, get insurance. Da, da, da. They was pushing being a police officer like being a trash man. Like really, like they were really. That's when Ramsey came over. And I lived right around where that police officer got shot at 17th and wherever it was. This is, yeah. You remember that, right? So this was around the time when they had a bunch of really, really, really new, unexperienced beat cops. And these two people showed up to my house. And I was young. So they was maybe been about the same age as me. This woman looked me dead in my face and said, the next time you have a domestic disturbance, tell them your house is being broken into. Don't tell them that your boyfriend is beaten.
What?
Yes, because the police will respond. I'm not making this up. The police will respond faster to a breaking and entering or robbery than a domestic dispute. And I was like, you telling me this to my face right now? She was like, yeah. So it was helpful. It was some messed up information, right? You're telling me what it is, and I appreciate that. But the whole sentiment behind it was just crazy. So I'm saying that to say that people, because I mean it happens to men just like at way lower rates, don't always have the out that people think that they have. Like I think what's his name, Fab, is supposed to be going to court soon for what he did to his girl. So we are still in the middle of domestic violence awareness.
To his girl.
Sure. Yep. And yeah. No, you're right. Allegedly, it's an accusation, right? Those are the charges.
A black man facing the penal system, so let's just try to guilty until proven innocent.
Okay, sure. We'll leave it at that. But on both sides, men also can very much prevent domestic violence. Absolutely. You have all heard stories. You have all seen things that your friends, your uncle, your homies do that is not okay. And you felt uncomfortable and you have been silent. This is your role. This is what you get to do. You get to step in. You get to check your homie. You get to tell him, yo, you can't talk to her like that. You can't do that in front of me. Yeah. Period. Yeah. And the fact that so many men, black men, are complicit, they don't say anything. They say things like innocent until proven guilty, and that's my homie. I don't know. I'm just saying. I know. You said you was quoting Trump.
You know what I'm saying?
I should have a swear jar anytime somebody says his name on the show. Is it?
Right there.
Not a swear jar.
Is it right? Yeah, swear jar if you say the T word. So that's it.
What a bad word.
This is I owe you. I owe the station so much money. So Erica Mena, I hope that everything is okay. I'm still gonna dub this nonsense because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
all right, we are wrapping up. We have our question of the day, but we're going to get to that. We have a short music break, and then we'll be back. All right, Sam is saying we're just going to go straight through because he has a hot date tonight. So, we got to get him out of here. Hot date.
It's colder than now.
And he in his Eagles gear from head to toe. All right. Question of the day. What was my question? What do you think that relationships should remain private if you're in the public eye?
Oh, this juicy.
Yeah, I'm about to get Rob in trouble. I'm just kidding.
Nah, I ain't gonna get in trouble. Listen.
Do you think that certain relationships should remain private if you are in the public eye? So we can talk about what the public eye means, first of all.
What does the public eye
If
mean?
you have 1,200 followers on Instagram, that's not the public eye.
That's not? Well.
Nope.
I don't know. I feel as though
do you think gender plays a role with that?
I think that in general, you don't don't just put your relationship. A lot of people are looking for validation for their relationships. You know what I mean?
Say that one more time.
A lot of people are looking for validation for it in their relationship. So
can we say this right now? Being in a relationship is not an accomplishment. Getting married, it's not. It's not an accomplishment.
Getting married is an accomplishment.
I will acknowledge it as a legal maneuver. Yes. It's an accomplishment. No, it is. It is. It's a real thing. But it's true where people hold it over, like, you know, I've been in a relationship for 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a personal choice, my G.
Yeah.
You don't get you're also not bettering anyone's life for being in a relationship.
I think it depends.
You can talk about that
when it comes to gender. I feel like as a female, being in a relationship could, and this is going to sound gross, but I think that being in a relationship could make your stock go up. Because when guys kind of see you kind of taking, you kind of look like both ways. It ain't just for females. Being in a relationship could make people more adapt to see you as a wholesome and good person. It's like as the president. Don't you have to be married?
I don't think
you don't have to be,
but every president has been.
That you hold to where you have to be married, because it just shows that you're like a wholesome man or a wholesome person and you're focused and you have a home life. I think that, you know, if you're going to put some stuff in the public, you should put it all in the public. That's one of my main opinions. You know, don't just put your pumpkin patch picking and, you know what I mean, the fall season.
So you want to see fights?
We don't want to see fights.
You want to see fights? You want to see the petty arguments?
No, because when it comes to fights, I want both sides of the story. If you're going to say what they did, I want you to tag them in it, and I want to hear what they did, too. I've seen whole relationships go back and forth in the comment section. Shout out to the comment section.
Shout out.
You know what I mean? I've seen whole back and forth. So, but I think that more importantly than being in the limelight, it's just focusing on your craft. Because a lot of people get distracted at things. You know, a picture of me and my boo, I'm ugly, I'm hit. So when I post a picture with me and my lady, I get a couple more likes.
Sam is gorgeous. She really is.
My lady is gorgeous. I get a couple more likes when I post a picture with her. Now, do I use that to my advantage for likes? Nah, that's a little no. You know what I mean?
That's a little bit much.
But I think that it could be beneficial and it could not be beneficial. If you're a young male and you're a model, you're a recording artist, you're some type of artist, then the single persona may serve you better to single women who may want to buy your product.
Do you know about K-pop?
K-pop.
K-pop, the genre of music.
What's K-pop?
So K-pop is short for Korean pop. And it's a worldwide phenomenon, and it's basically like these groups of like 4 to 13 like of people. Like it's a big group, and they're all very young, and their whole thing is about being attainable. So these people actually have to contractually say like, I won't appear in public with people, or I will always present myself as single.
Wow.
There are artists who have lost their contracts because tabloids have outed them as like being romantically involved with a person.
Wow.
So obviously that's a real thing. I'm a pretty private person though. The only time I talk about my personal life is when I'm on stage, so you gotta come to one of my shows to see what that's about. But social media and my personal life don't mix very much.
Why not?
It feels invasive. People don't get that. You haven't, like, why am I giving away my life to strangers?
See, I feel the opposite. I feel like social media...
It feels weird.
And my personal life lets people know that they connecting with a real person. You know what I mean? If I just post the events, if I just post the content, and not enough of me, sometimes people forget who is
that you're a real person.
Who's behind it, that I'm a real person, you know, so...
That's a good point.
It goes both ways. I think that...
I'm also a woman, and so it's a little different. I'm always very conscious of, like, where I'm telling people I'm going to be, or if I'm going to be alone, and things like that. Weirdest thing ever happened to me, and this is early social media days when I was on blackplanet.com. What?
Hold on, wait. Black Planet is not social media.
It was social media. It was social media at the time.
Back then, it wasn't no such thing as social media.
That's exactly what it was.
First social media was MySpace.
MySpace, Black Planet. Mi Gente was another one that was for our Latino brethren and sister.
What about?
And then there was one for Asian people. I can't remember what it was called, but it was something extremely racist and sounded like a sushi roll.
Well,
yeah.
What about Christian Mingle?
That's a thing. That's a dating
That's
app.
what?
But we're talking about social media. So listen, I was on the train, I was on the subway, minding my business, and somebody came up to me. This dude was like, "Are you so and so on BlackPlanet.com?" I was like, "Oh shoot." So ever since then, like just knowing how honestly small Philly is,
Right.
like it's really small.
Yeah.
Between us, we probably have like 500 mutual friends just by virtue of us living in the same city. So I'm very conscious about like what I share and who I share and like who's on my social media and all that type of stuff. And then I realized that people really be investigating. Like people really be like, oh. So I noticed so and so is always liking your liking her eyes. Is that your boo?